Good evening and welcome to Release Your Wings. I'm Dan Bagley and I'm interviewing Shireen Chada this evening, and we've got a really fascinating topic. It's secrets to greater vitality. So let's get started because we're in a high energy moment for this. So one of the things that we're talking about before we came on camera was someone you know really well, and I've met a couple times, Dottie Janke. And Dottie is 95 years old. And you don't think about that as high vitality, but would you share with the people watching her lifestyle and what she does?
You know, she is the administrative and spiritual head of the Brahma Kumaris right now, and you won't believe it. She became the administrative head at 92.
Whoa!
So it's such a huge organization.
How many people in the BKs?
About 1 million, and there are about 8,500 centers in 120 countries.
Wow.
And so she is a very active head. It's not just a figure. She's sitting somewhere and doling out little pieces of wisdom. I mean, she's very wise too.
She does write books.
She's very wise too.
Yeah.
This thing that I enjoy about her is the way she is so active, so like really alive all the time.
Tell how much she travels, by the way.
I would say in a year about 200 to 300,000 miles.
Wow.
Around the world, because she visits all the continents usually every time she travels around the world.
That's incredible. At 95.
And she told us a secret one time. She's told us a secret to her vibrance. And she said it's 5% medicine, 45% God, and 50% blessings and good wishes from everyone.
That's very nice. So all we have to do is have God on our side, take a little bit of medicine as we get into our 90s, and get about 1 million people sending us good wishes, and we're good. So what, for those of us that are not at that high level, and I mean, at 95, very few people are doing between 200,000 and 300,000 miles on airplanes a year across all time zones.
Oh, and she doesn't, I've never seen her have jet lag, ever.
That's incredible.
Because I always see her very close up all the time, and she drops down from all the way from India, and she'll go and do a program.
That's truly being wired into the greater energy source. Certainly more than I'm getting these days. One of the things I suspect about her, which isn't in her list, that she has such a compelling purpose in her world that I think that actually may translate to all of us. If we have a greater good, a reason for existence, a reason to be enthusiastic with what we do.
Right. And also, yes, actually she can teach us a lot of secrets. And one of the secrets is that the greater good should be something above and beyond you.
Not just us.
It's not just selfishness. That for her is that she really wants to bring happiness and care and wisdom to everyone. And that is her thing. This is something beyond her, above her. It's not just a little selfish here and there. And I feel that is a real secret.
Yeah. So having that grander purpose that serves humanity more than just the individual that we have. And in that, I mean, even though, and I'm going to move it to where most of us live, even the sense of taking care of, say, a child in our family is also that extension to all of humanity. It may not be 1 million people, but there is the greater good reachable to all of us beyond selfishness of just my needs.
I've noticed that it's always good. It's good to take care of your family. I feel that's your basic duty. But to really have really nice vibrancy in your life, it has to be something above and beyond your basic call of duty.
So even beyond the family, then extends out the community.
Some kind of community, something that you really do altruistically for someone else, not just your family member.
Got it.
And we call that service in a way. You know, that kind of service where you really truly serve people because they need it.
Good, good. What's the role of how we eat and what we consume in vitality.
Yeah, eating definitely does make a difference. I feel if people are not feeling vibrant, that they should change their lifestyle.
Yeah.
And we've talked about lifestyle
Sure.
before, but also what we feed our mind.
Ah.
And there are a couple of things I feel we feed our mind. One is that I have to do this, I have to do that. It creates such a burden, such a heaviness.
Ah, the should monster comes in. I really should do this, but I don't want to. And
Or I have this huge list that I have to do,
Yeah.
and I'm always going around saying what I should do. So there's such a heaviness.
so, in a funny way, we create friction in our lives by dragging our should list around.
Right, right. And also we create friction by not accepting what is life offering us, because we have such a preconceived idea of what it should offer us.
So part of this should trap is it shouldn't be raining because my parade is today kind
Right,
of thing. So
right.
you're pushing against what is.
Right, and so many times I feel so much more alive when I think this is what it is. I have to take it.
Yeah. So that expression, it is what it is actually a pretty functional place.
Especially in vitality, it is.
Yeah.
It's a secret. I have to take it. I feel that when I don't have a choice, when I don't give my mind a choice and say, oh, but it could have been this way, it could have been this way, and say, no, just it is what it is, take it.
Right.
And I feel that that really is a secret.
So if we're stuck in traffic and we want to get from point A to point B in this amount of time and we're not going to make it, it does no good to our vitality to beat ourselves up or to be fussing at the traffic or any of that.
Right.
But there's something underlying this, and you implied it just a moment ago, to recognize the power of our thoughts defeating ourselves, because it's really our thoughts that if I'm angry, I have a right to be angry, I'm stuck in traffic, but that right to be angry is like I have a right to hurt myself or hit myself in the nose because I'm in traffic.
Right. You know, it's funny you should talk about thoughts. There are 4 kinds of thoughts in Brahma Kumaris. When we learn about our own thought patterns, this is what we learn. One is negative or violent thoughts, is whether I'm angry or greedy or whatever. Those are negative and violent thoughts. One is waste thoughts. Waste thoughts are hopelessness, it should have been this way, why isn't it this way, all of those things, confusion. And one is ordinary thoughts, just inane thoughts, you know, looking at Facebook to see who drank coffee at what time during the day, I feel is just ordinary behavior. And pure thoughts. And pure thoughts are where I really have elevated thoughts for myself. I have this elevated consciousness of who I am, who God is. So those are pure thoughts. And if I want vitality, I have to stay in that place of pure thoughts.
Does that mean reading something that inspires you?
Sure, sure. You know, all of us have our own scriptures that we really, or not.
Yeah, or not.
Whichever, whatever is inspiring for us. Yes, we have to keep our mind in that state of being.
So much of what can give us more vitality is to nourish not just our bodies, but what we were saying is nourish our minds or our thoughts with things that are uplifting as opposed to things which make us go, oh my goodness, I feel superior to so-and-so. I'm watching Jersey Shore or whatever because it makes me feel so much better than those people are.
Right.
I think you probably don't watch Jersey Shore.
No, I don't have a TV.
I've never heard of it.
I don't have a TV.
One of the other things we just did it is to laugh at context or laugh at ourselves and have a sense of humor of life's too important to be taken seriously.
Right, right. It is. You know, when we talk about vitality, it goes in a sequence. You won't believe the sequence when I say it. Happiness, wealth, and then vitality.
So happiness, give me the sequence of what that means.
That first I need to have happy, or I need to find my reasons for happiness.
Got it.
They're always around me. I just need to find them and stay in those reasons of happiness. And then I need to find wealth. And when I mean wealth is, of course, physical wealth is very important. We cannot underscore the importance of that, but also the wealth of knowledge. When you were talking about scriptures.
Okay, so we're not talking about just having more money. We're talking about how we think, the wealth of the abundance of sorts.
You're right.
Within that.
And then comes vitality. And in vitality, I feel that my connection with a higher power, in my case I would call God, or however people connect with their higher power, that connection really gives me a lot of vitality.
You know, that's a funny thing. Sometimes it feels to me like I am connected to my best spiritual self, and that feels like a connection to God, because I'm on purpose, I'm going with the flow, I'm not fighting what is. And sometimes I'm just running on battery power, which feels, yeah, I'm moving in the direction I want to, but I'm not as connected. Do you ever have that distinction?
Sure, I do. Sure. Sure, I do. I feel that's the difference maybe between Dadi Janki and myself, is that she really works on God's power.
Yeah.
All the time. It's not humanly possible for her to do what she's doing.
I agree with that. And I've met her, and even having met her on a couple of occasions, to realize she's 95 years old is just amazing. I mean, you know, I just can't, it's just incredible.
Yeah, because she's working on God's power.
Exactly.
And so if I purify my thoughts, in that pure thoughts, if I purify my thoughts to an extent that God will work through me, and then I can use His power instead of my power.
So I'm seeing a connection of the vitality and having that greater purpose that extends far beyond myself and even my family, to something that is truly loving. And frankly, one of the things I was struck by with Dottie when I first met her was how non-judgmental you feel that she is.
Right. I mean, she
doesn't.
doesn't. It's a good point, Dan.
Yeah.
Is she totally economizes her thoughts.
Yeah.
She's not sitting there, and I feel there's economy of like money, but also economy of thoughts. She's just having thoughts that are absolutely necessary. That's it.
Moment.
That
She's
moment.
dealing with the here and the now.
And what are the pure thought that is essential then? That even those pure thoughts are not too many. Is that whatever pure thoughts are necessary now, that's what she is. And that kind of economy of thoughts, I feel when we judge, when we analyze, when we do all of that, we think, oh, I'm so much better, or whatever it is, but we are really losing so much energy in that process.
Yeah. So in a funny way, we're creating all sorts of strange contexts that have nothing to do with the enjoyment of the moment.
Right, or vitality, right?
Yeah, or the energy flowing.
Right.
You know, something that I've noticed is that every thought has a reaction in the body. And I noticed my dad, when he was alive, had Parkinson's. And you could notice when something on the news was disturbing to him, or even a TV program, that he would start shaking. And I became very aware of how small a thought could move, showed up in his body. But my understanding was, we all have this. We just don't shake as much if we have a slightly negative thought, a disappointing thought. And the understanding, therefore, is everything, this comes back to your economy of thinking, every thought has some sort of physiological effect on us.
Especially on the nervous system.
On the nervous system.
Because that's what you were noticing.
And with in this a relatively new study of epigenetics is all of our cells are communicating all of the time. It isn't just our brain thinking these things. And so it isn't just our genetic makeup, it is how our thoughts affect the predispositions of our genes and create that. Everything shows up, including the cost to our vitality.
Right.
So if we have the good thoughts, and not just positive mental attitudes, the higher plane thoughts, the goodness for all, then we might get to be 95 years old, still put in more than 250,000 years on airplane, 250,000 miles on airplanes every year, and be just amazingly refreshed. That seems a little hard for me to grasp for myself, but I know Dottie's pulling it off as
No,
we speak.
I have that vision for you, Dan.
Then, and let's see, 30 years, we'll check back at this time. Then I'll be 95. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, and hope you feel a little more vitality. Just talking with Shireen tonight, I certainly do. Have a wonderful evening. Good night.